Happy 2024 everyone, and with dewy, fresh, glowy looks set to be even more popular for this year, I thought there was no better way to start the year than to film a video doing just that look. And I will be using all e.l.f. cosmetics. I tend to use luxury makeup because they are the brands I tend to trust, but e.l.f. Cosmetics is the one exception for me because I really enjoy their products. I tend to buy everything they release, and I also have them in my regular lineup quite often. I love that they're affordable, but I also love the quality, and I just love how many new things are coming out all the time. And I think even as I film this now, they've just released some liquid blushes. But I don't have that yet. It is on order, so I will be doing a video with that soon. But whilst I'm waiting for that to come, I will carry on with this dewy look for you today. If you're new here to my channel, my name's Hannah. I'm not a professional, I'm just somebody who really enjoys makeup. It's something that makes me so happy, and I like to share my favourite looks, my favourite brands and tips, offers, anything I can really with you. If that's something you think you'll enjoy, please like and subscribe below because it really helps me to keep this channel going. And now onto the video. So getting started, I'm just going to quickly do my eyebrows, which I do by brushing down quickly. And using the e.l.f. Instant Lift waterproof pencil, just do a very quick outline to just fill in the gaps. We don't have a lot to fill in these days. And I was using taupe. And then onto the Wow Brow, also in taupe, just brush up. And that's it really. I will be going back to tidy these up at the end and adding another product just for the final finish. I do like to do my brows first because I find that foundation does interfere with the way that the product sets on my face if it goes on first. So brows on, and now I'll be priming the face using their Putty Primer. This is the blemish one, so it does cancel out redness. I couldn't find this one when I looked on the website, but the other Putty Primers are there, and they're all very effective at cancelling out those pores and helping your makeup to really stick and last all day. And whilst the face primer dries, I'm using the Sheer Eye Primer all over both eyes. This also helps to define the eyebrow. This doesn't give a very strong coverage, but it does give enough, and it does help your eyeshadows to set down, and it also blends into your skin very quickly and easily. Next I'm using this Putty Colour Correcting Eye Brightener. Again, this absorbs very easily and cancels out the darkness in the corner of my eye. And next is foundation. I would like some coverage, but I would also like some glow. So I'm going to mix their satin foundation with the Halo Glow together, and then I will apply them exactly the same time. So I have the Flawless Satin Foundation. I have it in the shade Pearl, which is extremely light on my skin. So I need something a bit darker to make this colour right for me. I have the Halo Glow in shade 3 Light Medium here, which is a bit dark for me, especially in the winter. So I'm going to mix this in with the foundation. You can see here that mixed together it's given it a slightly darker shade, and applied together it will still give me that glow and it'll give me the coverage. I'm going to use an e.l.f. sponge. I think this is a really good skin match for me. Just switched to my beauty blender because the sponge from e.l.f. was actually absorbing the whole product. I think products like Halo Glow are going to continue to be very popular this year, with the glowy look being so in fashion. It's such a beautiful product, and it is a very good dupe for something very similar that we all know and love. And now onto contour using shade Fairlight. This is a beautiful product. Extremely easy to use. I think my only issue with this is that these are already very messy, as we know the ones, but this one you can't twist to close it so that it just continues to leak into the lid, so it is a little bit messy, but I still think it's well worth it because it's extremely affordable and it just is so easy. Just see that, that's it, it's done. It just applies like a dream. And this colour is perfect for me. They do have it in a darker shade though, if you wanted a darker shade. And now onto concealer, and I'm using this hydrating satin finish camo concealer. This has a very thick doe foot on the end, and this is shade Light Beige, which I like to use under the eyes because it has a slight peachy tone, which just gives a bit more correcting power as well as conceal. And I use Light Rose in all of the other areas to brighten. This is a much more pale shade. With this I find a little goes a long way, so you do need to be careful not to apply too much. I actually stopped using this concealer because it was collecting into the lines underneath my eyes, but I've been very good with applying my eye cream morning and evening, and I've now found that going back to this, it's working brilliantly. Nothing collecting under the eyes at all. The other trick I found, which Nikki LaRose actually suggested, is to always use serum based eye creams in the morning and not the thick eye creams, because then your concealer just has nowhere to absorb. And now I'm using my Halo Glow setting powder in the shade Light, and I'm going to use this to set underneath my eyes, across the eyelid and into the T-zone. But I won't set anywhere else because I'm going to try to keep the glowy look. This is a very good powder for blurring and setting, and obviously it still gives a bit of a glow, which is perfect. And next I'm going to use some bronzer. This is one of their luminous putty bronzers, and this one is in the shade Summer Friday, and I'm using actually the e.l.f. applicator here, which is perfect. It's the only brush that really works well for these pots, I think. This is called the Putty Primer Applicator, and it has this end here where you can scoop the product out, and then you have this for application. I like to just put it straight in and apply this way. I just love the way it fits straight into the tub. I use this for lots of my cream products. This bronzer is not very pigmented, so it can be built up, which I personally much prefer, and also it's given that luminosity, which is perfect. I'm going to take a little bit into the eyes just to start the colour creeping into the eyes and matching up with the face. Can you see it's already given that glow? Quickly soften the edges with my sponge. And then continuing with the glowy theme, I have the Luminous Putty Blush, and this is in the shade Bermuda. This is beautiful. I'm using the same brush again. Again, this is not highly pigmented, so you can just build this up with ease. It is very, very pretty. And because we are going for a fresh face look, I'm just take a little bit across the nose, and I'm also going to start taking the pink into the eyes. This was something that was used a lot in 2023 with the Sugar Plum Fairy look, a personal favourite of mine, and a look that I think does give that real fresh, dewy look to the skin. I'll just tidy up with the sponge now, and I might add a bit more blush right at the end when this is absorbed and possibly the colour has gone into my skin a bit and it needs a top up. And for highlight, I've got the Halo Glow Highlighter Wand, and this one is in shade Rose Quartz. It's a very, very pretty highlighter. In fact, it's one of my favourites. A little bit on the nose and the Cupid's bow. Tap it out with the sponge. I love this because it just doesn't emphasise lines and it settles in very naturally but still gives that lovely glow. And for the eyes, there were so many choices. I've loved their duochrome liquid shadows this year, but I'm going into a palette this time. This is one I haven't used hardly ever, so this will be a bit of an experiment. This is their Bite Size palette in Rosewater. Starting with this shade here, just use this to go into the crease and use this as my transition shade. I think this works well, this colour, I was hoping it would anyway, with the blush that I've already placed in this area, so it just blends in. And the same colour underneath the eyes. I've used quite a lot of e.l.f. eyeshadow palettes over the years, and I've never ever, honestly, been disappointed with them. It's incredible when you think you just pay a few pounds for these, and they are really, really good. I did buy their bigger palettes last year, and I was also really, really impressed with those. So if you don't have any e.l.f. eyeshadows, I highly recommend you check them out because they are very surprising for the price. I don't want this to be a dark look, so I'm going to actually go into this deeper shimmer to deepen up the crease area a bit. But we're going for a glowy, natural look today, so I don't want a deep, dark corner. I think that's fine. It gives a little bit more depth and a bit more shimmer, which is absolutely fine by me. And pop in the same underneath. I'm not going all the way across this time. Another impressive thing about these is just how easy they are. Look how I've just blended them in seconds. Very little work involved. I really love these. And considering this one is a first try, it's going very well for me. I'm now going to put the shimmer on with my finger. Oh, beautiful. is lovely. One of the trends I've read that we're going to be getting this year is all matte eye looks and no shimmer, but I'm not sure that's a trend I'll be getting on board with all too often, because I am addicted to the shimmer. I don't know about you. And I'm adding this shimmer into my inner corner as well, the same shimmer, and I think I'll put a little bit under the brow as well. Yeah, I think that's nice. And just to impress me further, there has been no fallout whatsoever using this palette. I've just gone now into the darkest matte, and I'm going to use that to just line. Again, I don't want this to be a very dark smoky look. I'm just using it as a very gentle liner. Top and bottom. And this brush is actually an e.l.f. liner, which I'm using to just complete my wing here. Not much of a wing, just a tiny one. I'm just popping a brightening pencil here into my waterline, which is something I do with every single look. This is not something I have in e.l.f., so this is the one product I'm using that isn't e.l.f., I'm afraid. This one is Victoria Beckham, a liner I use every single day. Just to waken up the eyes a little bit. I'm just going to run a little bit more of the dark shimmer back underneath, and then some of the lighter shimmer underneath, just by here. And using the lighter concealer, I'm just going to put a tiny touch here, just to tidy up this area where a little bit of the powder is gone, and create a little line like this. And then just blend it out very, very carefully. A little pat down with the sponge. It's a little trick to keep this area tidy and bright. You do not want the dark colours seeping down below there. I'm really pleased with that palette. I think that's really pretty. So onto mascara, and I've just got their new mascara, and this is their lash extender. And with brown mascaras said to be more popular for this year, this is the brown shade. Let's do a quick lash curl first. The brown mascara just fits in more with the natural glowy look, I think. But I do love brown mascaras. I'm not just trying it because they're in trend this year. I have been buying brown mascaras for a while now, and I do really enjoy them. I don't personally wear false eyelashes, and I also don't like to wear too much mascara, so this is one trend this year that I'm happily getting on board with, because that's exactly how I like to wear them. So very useful trend this year for me. I'll pop a little bit of mascara below as well. This mascara seems to be a very nice one again from e.l.f. To be fair, I've really enjoyed quite a few of theirs. This one isn't clumping, it does separate the lashes. It doesn't give you thick lashes, it just gives you length, and it does give you a bit of definition and separation, which I personally prefer. That's one coat with, and this eye without. You can see the difference. I said I'd go back to finish off my eyebrows, so using the tip of the eyebrow pen, which I used earlier, you can see it's got a very fine nib. If I just turn it and use the edge of it, and just try and add a little bit here. And you could also then use it to fill in any gaps, but luckily I'm not getting any gaps since I started using an eyebrow serum, so that's something I definitely recommend if that's a problem you have too. And the last touch is to set my eyebrows in place using this brow lift. This is a product again that I've used for a long time. I am here using the e.l.f. brush again, which is one of the ones I use all the time. You can just see now how it does finish the brows off very nicely. It gives them that bit more separation, and it really flattens it and lifts, and it will set in place all day. And for me, I just think that looks a lot more natural compared to this. I love that. I don't want all my eyebrows spiking up, just these here really, so using a Q-tip I just slightly soften the edge there and bring some of them down a little bit. Lastly now the lips, and this is one of their brand new lip liners which have only recently launched. This one is the only one I've picked up so far, but I have ordered another one, and this one is called Pinky Swear, and I think for me this colour match is perfect. I like it so much that I actually cover my entire lip with it, which I'll show you now. See how well this is matching my natural lip colour. And then I round off the Cupid's bow to give a bit more fullness to the lips. And then continue the colour onto all of the lips. There, you can see now that this has just given me a bit of a boost to my natural lips. And then to finish my lips off, this would be too dry if I left it just like this, so I'm going to use one of their brand new lip oil. This is their Glow Reviver lip oil, and this is in the colour Red Delicious. Now this might look very bright, but it really doesn't apply like that at all, which you'll see now. It's got this lovely deep doe foot, which is so soft and cushiony that it's just wonderful to apply. I really enjoy these. You can see that it's not bringing red at all. It just gives a tiny bit of colour. I'll show you on the back of my hand actually. So you can see there is red, but once it's blended into the lips, it really isn't bright at all. So don't be put off if you don't like reds, because this is a lovely, lovely choice. And this is another product which easily made it into my regular lineup. And as usual, I forgot to set my face before putting on my mascara, something I just seem to do all the time. But anyway, the Stay All Night Blue Light Setting Powder, which is supposed to absorb blue light and also set all your makeup. I'll just cover my eye so that the mascara isn't affected, and give my face a really good spray, a very generous spray, which might help a bit with the glow. And before I completely finish, I'm going to put a tiny dab of this blush that we put on earlier, just a little bit more on there. Just there. Don't think it's needed, but why not, eh? So that's my full face of e.l.f. Cosmetics and my glowy, dewy, fresh look for the new year. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you haven't checked out any e.l.f. products, I seriously recommend that you do. They are so affordable and the range is excellent, and there's always new products coming out. You could probably buy enough products to do an entire full face of makeup for the same price as one very expensive eyeshadow palette from another company. That is how affordable e.l.f. products are, and they really are so very, very good. Go and check them out if you haven't. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I really look forward to making more content for you all throughout 2024. And if you've enjoyed it, please like and subscribe below. It really does help me very much. And I'll see you again for my next video. Bye!